They are not who they say they are.
You're all going to die tonight.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll recap a 2021 horror mystery thriller film named Hideout. Before we start, it is a request to please like and comment on the video as it will help us to grow our reach. At the beginning of the movie, we see three thieves running out of a liquor shop. One of them shoots inside the shop and then they leave in their car. One of them, named Reed, was shot and Sarah tells that the bullet is inside as she cannot see any exit. Kyle asks Reed if he killed the shopkeeper, to which Reed says he had no choice. Kyle says that they cannot go to the hospital, but Sarah says that they must take him to the hospital as they cannot let him die. Now Reed's condition is deteriorating and they are on an off-road and stop their car in front of a house. Kyle knocks on the door for help, which is opened by an older woman named B. He tells her that his friend got shot and asks for her help, to which B tells him to bring him inside. Seeing Reed's condition, B says that she needs to call an ambulance, but Kyle stops her to do so and Sarah tells Rick to get the first aid kit from the car. When Rick goes out to get the kit, we see someone from the house looking at him. Then as soon as Rick gets the kit, he hears some sound from behind and starts looking around. Now when Rick does not come back for a long time, Kyle comes out to see him, but he does not see Rick there and the first aid kit is also not in the car. Then he walks in with the toolbox and tells Sarah that there is no kit and Rick is gone. After this, B takes out a bullet from Reed's stomach with their help and stitches his wound, after which Reed becomes unconscious due to pain. Then B's granddaughter Rose comes there and asks her why did she let them in, to which B tells that they needed help. Then Rose asks them who are those people, to which Sarah tells her and Kyle's name and tells them that they should just let them stay here tonight. Then she asks B about Reed, to which B says that he will be fine and tomorrow morning she will take him to the hospital too. Then B gives them lime water and Rose starts asking more about them, on which Kyle changes talk and starts praising their house. Rose tells them that this house belonged to her grandfather, to which Sarah asks where is her grandfather now. Then suddenly a photo frame falls and breaks. Kyle then goes out to smoke and Rose also accompanies him. Here B tells Sarah that as a child she used to go with her father to pluck lemons. One day her father did not go and she went alone despite her father's refusal. But she should not have gone. In the next scene, Rose asks B about those people, on which B says that they are harmless. But then the news of their robbery plays on TV in which their faces are also shown. Now seeing this, both of them get scared, and then Kyle comes from behind and takes them to gunpoint. Then he makes them sit in the living room, but after some time they fall asleep. Then when Sarah wakes up, she sees B and Rose standing in the kitchen. She wakes Kyle and seeing them standing like this, they think that they have called the police. But B says that they did not do any such thing. Just then, Kyle gets a vision and he starts having severe pain in his head. After this, Sarah goes with Rose and hides her car and asks her why they didn't call the police and they could have run away. To which Rose says that she could have slit her throat too, but not everyone is a monster. Next, when they come back inside, Kyle says that he is locking them in the closet. But then the police come there and Sarah tells Rose to get rid of the police. Inspector Lopez asks Sarah if she has noticed anything strange tonight, to which Rose says no. Lopez tells her to contact him if she sees anything suspicious and then he leaves. After this, he locks them in the closet and tells Sarah that maybe they should just leave because he doesn't like them. To which Sarah says that now they cannot go anywhere, and here we learn that Kyle is Sarah's big brother. Then both of them fall asleep and we see that some unseen force enters the house. Just then Kyle wakes up from his sleep with a sound and he sees that Sarah is not there. He starts looking for her around and then sees Sarah's clothes on the stairs and her face on the wall. Now seeing this, he gets shocked, and then Sarah comes in front of him who does not have skin on her face. Seeing this, he gets very scared, but then Sarah comes to him and he tells her everything. Sarah tells him that she was sleeping next to him, to which Kyle says that it all looked real. The next morning, Reed regains consciousness and Rose goes to the washroom. Sarah tells Reed that the police know about them and they are all over the news. Then they learn from the news that the shopkeeper who was shot by Reed is dead. Then when Reed learns that they have also left robbed money at the shop, he becomes very angry. Now when Rose doesn't come from the washroom for a long time, Kyle gets angry and asks her to come downstairs. He picks B up at gunpoint and tells Rose that she has 20 seconds to come down. But even after counting to 20, He is not able to kill her, but Reed snatches the gun from his hand and shoots her, leaving both Sarah and Kyle in shock. Then he goes upstairs to Rose and sees her topless and dancing in her room. He asks her why she didn't come downstairs and says that this is not a game. He tells her that now what he says will happen, and then Rose blows on his face, which blurs his vision, and he backs off. Then they both come downstairs where Rose sees B's body. Here Kyle tells Reed that he should not have killed B, and they start an argument. Reed tells him to get rid of the body, after which Kyle leaves from there. After coming out, he starts smoking, and only then does he sees a half-eaten animal there. He ignores it and leaves, and we are shown a human finger. Then Sarah comes out and sees Kyle standing at a distance. She calls him, but he does not give any response. Then when she goes to him, he suddenly disappears from there. Just then Kyle calls out her, but he was standing near the house. When she goes to him, Kyle tells her they were just talking, and she walked away. Kyle then comes in where Reed tells him to put B's dead body in the garage. Now when Kyle leaves the dead body in the garage, he realizes that someone is behind him, but when he turns around, there is no one there. Here Reed looks for something to eat in the kitchen, but he can't find anything there, and he sees that their fridge is also completely empty. He then goes to Rose, who tells him that she can see the future and the past. Then she closes her eyes and says that they are all going to die tonight. On hearing this, Kyle gets angry and he pulls her by grabbing her hair. After which he tells her that he knows what is going on here, and he can feel that it is something dark. But Reed tells him that there is no such thing and says that she is just a girl, and he is thinking like this just because of pressure. But Kyle tells him that something is strange in this house. They are not what they say they are, so they should leave from here. On the other hand, Sarah finds a box buried in the soil outside, which upon opening she finds a strange drawing and a voodoo doll in it. Here Reed says that they are leaving, to which Kyle says that it is not safe to leave now, and then Reed plans to leave at sundown. But Kyle still says that it is not a good idea to leave here. Here Rose asks Sarah if she believes in the devil, and then she tells her about the devil and that the devil is not some red monster with horns and a tail. He could be the most alluring creature she have ever met. Just then, Reed comes over and tells Sarah to convince Kyle to leave tonight. When Sarah leaves, we see a voodoo doll in Rose's hand. Now Sarah tries to persuade Kyle, but he refuses to go and says that it is not safe. Then when she touches him, it is as if he comes out of a trance and says that they will leave tonight. In the next scene, when Sarah starts the car, her nose starts bleeding and she has a vision of a girl. She then takes the gun and exits the car, where she finds Kyle standing. She tells him that she knows that he loves her, but Kyle behaves very strangely and angrily says that his whole life he had to clean up her messes. Then he tells that he is very stressed and it is all her fault. Then his head hurts and he says that their mom is going to die, whether they can afford her treatments or not. After this, Sarah comes in and tells them that there is no gas in the car, to which Reed says that Rose will go to the gas station to fill the gas and he will be lying in the back seat. Now when Reed asks Kyle for gas money, they get into an argument again and Kyle blames Reed, saying that he and Sarah are stuck in this because of him. Reed then tells Sarah that Kyle was going to leave her and her mother and go to Florida, taking his share of the money. Now Sarah is shocked to hear this, and when Kyle confirms this, she slaps him and leaves from there. Reed and Rose then leave the car to refill the gas, but their car stops midway. Then they take a lift from a man named Marshall. On the way, there is an emergency alert on the radio in which they tell the details of their car. Marshall now starts suspecting Reed, so he stops the car, gets down to make a call. Reed tells him not to call the cops, but when he doesn't listen, he kills him by slitting his throat and then leaves in his car. Here Kyle apologizes to Sarah for lying to her and says that they are going to get through all this. Suddenly he gets up and says that he is hearing a banging noise. Sarah says she didn't hear any sound, but Kyle goes downstairs to the basement where he finds B's body missing. Suddenly B puts her hand on his shoulder and says that his mother always loved Sarah more than him. She tells him not to take her from here as she needs her. Kyle gets very scared of this and then sees that B's body is in its place. Then after a while, Reed and Rose return home and Reed tells them that they have to get out of here now. He then ties Rose to a chair and Reed is about to shoot Rose, but Sarah tries to stop him. Then his wound starts hurting very hard and he goes to the bathroom. He sees that his wound is bleeding and he feels some movement inside his abdomen. Here Sarah frees Rose and asks her to run away. Kyle goes out and throws the keys of the car somewhere far away. He was behaving strangely and then finds a polybag there. Here Sarah asks Reed to open the door, but we see that a snake comes out alive from Reed's wound, which he catches. Sarah somehow opens the door and is shocked to see that what Reed was holding as a snake was his intestine. Sarah goes out to call Kyle, but she does not find him there. Then when she comes back and checks Reed, Kyle comes from behind and tries to suffocate her with a polybag. But she takes out a knife from Reed's pocket and attacks Kyle, which hits him in his eye. She then runs away and hides in the basement. Kyle takes the knife out of his eye and takes Reed's gun and starts searching for Sarah in anger. Then Rose comes from behind and asks him about his eye. She takes out a voodoo doll that has only one eye. Kyle tells her to look at what she made him do and says that he knows about the clothes and the bones in the wood. Now here Rose reveals that she was in a cult. She kills and eats children, and first of all she ate her own baby brother and sister. Her parents and the town suspected her of doing it and possessing some kind of unimaginable evil. She never went home and has been out here since 1893, moving from place to place. Hearing this, Kyle tries to shoot her, but Rose breaks the voodoo doll's arm, which also breaks Kyle's arm. Then she starts reciting a spell, and any body part Kyle tries to move, Rose breaks it. Then eventually she kills him by breaking his neck. On the other hand, Sarah sees strange things in the basement that she is trying to understand. But then Rose starts coming down and Sarah hides. Rose asks her to come out and tells her that she had kidnapped Vi as well when she went to pluck lemons, but instead of eating her, she made her pet. She says that she did not come here of her own free will, but she has brought her there. Then Sarah tries to strike her with an axe, but Rose throws something in her eyes due to which she cannot see properly. She tries to run away, but Rose stabs her with a knife. Just then, Sarah hits her with a wrench, causing Rose to fall back, and a pipe coming out of the wall rams inside her. Then Sarah starts leaving from there, but the door does not open. Then she hears Rose's demonic laugh, and when she goes back to her, she says in a demonic voice that it's too late. Sarah immediately picks up the axe and severs her head by continuously hitting her neck. But the door still doesn't open, and Sarah finds a secret path through which she tries to get out. But she ends up in a strange place where she finds a creepy looking demon. She tries to shoot him, but the demon catches her and starts extracting her soul. Next, Officer Lopez returns to the house where he finds Marshall's car. And when he goes inside the house, he finds Reed and Kyle's bodies. They also find the dead bodies of Rose and Vi there, and Sarah and Rick are missing, and a search is on for them. In the next scene, we see a kid who finds a voodoo doll and Sarah standing nearby, who calls him to her. That child goes to her, and we see that Sarah has also become a demon now. Here the police team reaches the house where we see the first kit lying outside, and the movie ends here. Please do like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon never to miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.